Hi, welcome to E-TERVIEW. This is our first of what I hope to be many video interviews that we'll conduct with artists, scholars, and people related to the creative field. So if this is a little bit rough, I hope you forgive us, and thank you for joining. The first artist we're going to be featuring on our first ever video interview is Vagner Whitehead, who is a Brazilian-born and Detroit metro-based artist that works with a variety of media, including painting, drawing, video, photography, installation, and performance. In addition to being an artist, Vagner is an educator, college professor, and also a blogger, and sometimes a curator. I will be asking him a few questions, and he'll be giving us his most candid answers. So my first question for Vagner is, why did you decide to become an artist? Well, there are many reasons why I decided to become an artist. A friend of mine recently posted something on Facebook about how your first language determines the way you think, and my first language is Brazilian Portuguese, and in Brazilian Portuguese, the word for actors is sometimes intertwined with the word artist. So a lot of people refer to actors on television as television artists. And I think my interest in becoming an artist came from watching television and seeing what I saw on TV and wanting to be on TV. Movies like Fame or Flashdance were things that sort of compelled me to decide to pursue an art education and move to the US actually. Other things as well, I remember me and my sister used to watch music videos on television and dance and perform and mimic what they did. So that's one of the reasons, and that's usually the well-known reason why I became an artist. Another reason that I think a lot of people don't know, or most people don't know, is I had an art teacher that took a liking of me in middle school or grade school, I guess you would call it. And in grade school was a really rough time for me, and the art classroom was sort of a safe place, and I think that teacher saw something in me that maybe I didn't do, and she really encouraged me. I don't think I was a particularly good artist, but I felt compelled to excel in her class, and I think she understood that I was different from the other kids in more than one way. Last but not least, I think my parents, for some reason I was labeled as the more artistic one in the family, even though I didn't necessarily pursue art. I mean, I did a lot of things like collages, and I would cut out things from newspapers, I would draw floor plans, and just make weird marks on paper. And I think even though those things sort of inform my work now, at that time I didn't see it. So I'd say both of these sort of experiences sort of shaped me into wanting to go to an art school, and eventually that led me to, through a series of events, to becoming an artist. Since Vagner, another question. Since you went to art school and you've been out of school for a while and you've been showing your work for a while, can you talk a little bit about that and maybe your influences? Okay. I was pretty young when I went to school. I was 17 when I went to college, and I was barely 21 when I graduated, and like many people, I moved to New York. I studied photography in school. I did not consider myself an artist. I considered myself a photographer. And even that was sort of hard for me to sort of own. I eventually moved back to Brazil. And in Brazil, I sort of went through a little identity crisis of not knowing what I wanted to do. I became involved in a sort of peripheral way in the local fashion world, which was just starting to boom. And I think had I stayed there, I would have done something with fashion, not photography, product designing or something like that. But the opportunity to go to graduate school arose, and I decided to give it a try, one more last try. And actually, after my first year of grad school, for many reasons, I decided to leave, and I went to Europe before even the semester ended in the spring, and I thought I wouldn't go back to school, and sorry, I'm a little shy. And I remember a friend of mine, I was in the club scene in London, sort of underground club scene, raves and stuff, and I was really broke, and my father was sending me money, and I was just staying with friends. I was really thin, I barely ate, did some drugs and stuff like that. And I remember somebody telling me that maybe I should get a job in a mall if I wanted to make some money, because I was kind of cute and hip. And then, so, yeah, well, I'll just leave it at that. It's another employment suggestion came up, which I didn't undertake. And that's where I realized, no, I'm not going to work in a mall, I'm an artist. And I went back to graduate school, and that, I think, was the beginning of me calling myself an artist and really feeling like that was my calling life. And I decided to put myself under that umbrella rather than just narrow myself to a medium. Thanks. But you didn't talk about your influences. Could you be a little more specific about that? No. No. I mean, it's a stupid question, right? My parents influenced me, my life influenced me, television influences me. My teachers influenced me. What I read, what I even eat influences me. So I can't say, oh, I looked at a painting by, Chuck Close and whoa, that didn't happen. I mean, it happens all the time that I get moved by artwork. I have certainly my favorite artists, but life and reality, if there's such a thing, is my biggest influence, because I think art making process is the actual filtering of all that influx of information and then putting out there or giving back. Though I have to say television is a big influence.